First, let me begin with thanks and recognition to the sponsor. And Leader Gordon Booth, this has not been an easy assignment, and let me share very genuinely my appreciation for you jumping into the fray and tackling something so difficult, so complicated, and so challenging. And let me also give thanks to something that came up in the executive committee earlier today, because there was a discussion about something that's been on the minds of many of us for years now, and it was mentioned by Leader Davidsmeyer, but the notion of agreements that were made several years ago as part of the 2019 Capitol bill are important and should be honored. And I appreciate you for agreeing with that, because that's something that, whether it's been the governor or the speaker who have consistently pointed fingers at each other, I appreciate you saying that that was something that you agreed with, and I look forward to how we can work on that in the future, because there are a lot of very worthy things of consideration that should move forward, and I appreciate you acknowledging that. To the budget, and for all of us in the House, this will be the last, at least the last major vote that we'll be taking for this legislative session, and we'll soon be then at the end of our time tonight, and I know the hour is late, but we'll hear those congratulatory remarks from the legislative leaders. And if you're a new member, you can look forward to that tradition where the speaker will come out and the Republican leader will make comments reflecting on the session. And we'll hear things probably to remind us about our why or about how winners do the work. But I think that it's important to acknowledge the work that was not done here, either in this budget or in this legislative session. Major, big-time work that was not accomplished by this General Assembly. And whether it's the Invest in Kids Act that has been mentioned repeatedly, whether it's BIPA, whether it's the tax holidays and protections that have been implemented in previous years that are not included in this budget, there's a lot of things that we didn't get the work done, unfortunately, for this year. And one of the things that disappoints me within this budget is we as a legislature, as a co-equal branch of government, we are delegating such a large amount of our work to the administration and to the governor specifically. And so when I see things like a $1.5 billion transfer from GRF to an old COVID response program, it leaves me wondering what our intentions are to give so much discretionary authority to the administration. Same with one of the biggest issues that we've been talking about for many months here in the state capitol, within the Medicaid program. The massive cost overruns within the expansion of Medicaid for undocumented individuals, undocumented immigrants, is a huge problem. And it should have been one where we could come together and think about how can you control costs and how can you think about services that are important to certain people. And that's the job of the legislature, to come forward and develop solutions. Instead, we're ceding more control to the administration through an emergency rulemaking authority. And I don't know if many of us weren't here 10 or 12 years ago during the SMART Act. That's the last time we gave extraordinary powers to the Department of Healthcare and Family Services to make cuts within the Medicaid program. There were many issues with doing that, and certainly more recently, we can all remember very vividly the problems with emergency rulemaking that continued again and again throughout the pandemic under the Department of Public Health. And so here we are as a legislature ceding more of the work that we should be doing ourselves to the administration. And that's not the work that we should be doing. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of the things that I just find it absolutely crazy, that we are going to leave this capital city after one of the largest public corruption trials with 4 convictions, all swirling around the person that presided at this rostrum, at this dais, for 38 years, and we as a legislature are adjourning without doing anything on the topic of ethics reforms. It is said that budgets reflect our priorities. And boy, I just cannot believe it, that we don't, all of us, place a priority on cleaning up the corruption that has been such a deep stain on the state of Illinois. We leave a lot of work to do here as we adjourn tonight. I hope we will do better in the future. Thank you.